Hey everyone, Frank from Acacia Reptiles doing a quick video update. Those of you following us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, if you aren't, please follow. But if you were, you've seen pictures a couple of weeks ago of these three little gems hatched for us. This is our first production of the yellow Saharan Uromastyx in captivity, the Uromastyx garai. I acquired a pair. It was a rehoming, actually. It was an individual who had a pair for a long time and just couldn't take care of them any longer. So I was able to pick them up and get them in some great shape. And a year and a half later, they produced a clutch, their first clutch, and 3 of the eggs were viable. And these 3 hatched for us a couple weeks ago. Wanted to share with you real quick our setup here. So this is a 2-foot EcoFlex. This is what we use for the large animals, or the larger adults, the 4-foot versions we use. This is just the smaller 2-foot version. It's been great in terms of just keeping a good amount of ventilation with a cross ventilation there. Also with the screen top has allowed some really good ventilation for these babies, but we also can spray and get a little humidity in those hides where they need it. So real high level, we have a heat light over here, Arcadia. We also have the deep heat penetration projector that we turn on at night, just in case if it gets a little cool here. That keeps it a nice mid-80s at night. And then we have an LED strip just for the bright lighting, and in the back we have the Arcadia T5. So a couple of things to point out and dispel about raising baby Uromastyx. First of all, you can see it's a little messy in here, but the reason for that is, I'm sure many of you know, the first meal that a baby Uromastyx will have and probably should eat for almost the first half a year is the adults, healthy adults, droppings. Little gross, little different than what many of us are used to, but as you can see here, we just take the parents' droppings, crush that up, and they go crazy for it. So obviously it's something that happens in the wild. It helps establish their gut biome, gives them the beneficial bacteria that they'll need in order to grow. Baby Uromastyx that do not have access to this seem to take much longer to grow and do not grow as large for obvious reasons there. They have some harder time digesting, getting the nutrients out of their food. So that's step 1. If you ever do purchase a smaller Uromastyx or breed them yourselves, tip number 1. Tip number 2, don't be afraid of humidity. These guys actually do drink a little bit. I have a humid hide over here. Excuse the messy glass. As you can see, they kind of like it. I blocked the top. It's a gecko hide that actually pour water in the top. It's terracotta. And it just provides them an area if they're feeling a little dried out, they can go in there. Over here, I also have a dry hide. And what I do every morning, I do a quick mist. And I do find them going over to the droplets and lapping them up a little bit here and there. So we want to make sure that they do have access to water and or humid areas. These are little guys. They can dry out really quick. So we want to make sure that they have access to all of those resources, food and water. Also, we have a temperature probe in the back there just to make sure the cool side doesn't drop below any certain temperatures we want to keep. As you can see, we're running around 38% humidity, about 82 on the cool side. The hot side right over here, that hot spot is running right around 100 to 110, depending on the time of the day and then the rest of the temperature in the room. Again, just giving them a temperature gradient. As you can see, they'll lie under there, warm up, get bright yellow and white like this, and then run around for a little while, eat some food, do some exploring, and head back over. So they're in a good spot. They're eating, they're defecating regularly. So that's all the things you really want to see. Another thing that you want to be aware of is that these are babies and they do require some protein in terms to grow. So though Uromastyx as a whole are typically vegetarian, at this size, as well as within their first couple of years of life, even into adulthood, depending on the species, I do provide them access to animal proteins via, we have some baby dubia roaches, or you could do some baby crickets. They go crazy for them. They'll chase them down. They're growing, and they do need some additional protein and supplementation. As you can see, we do supplement with some calcium D3, as well as some multivitamins. And as far as the UV, I don't go crazy here. I do not hit them with any powerful UV lighting. They have a standard Acadia Desert UVB, but it's actually on the outside of the cage, on the outside the screen. That way it does diffuse it a little bit, so it's not too intense. UV lighting, obviously, these are Uromastyx, but when they're babies, they're going to do a lot of hiding in nature. So they're not going to be out in the open basking constantly like the adults may be. So that's something to take into consideration. You don't want to hit these guys with a ton of high power UV like their parents would like. We want to make sure that they have access to it, but it's nothing too crazy. So that's basically it. We change out the paper towel every week. Make sure that they have fresh food throughout the day. And like I said, do a little misting in the morning just to get everyone, make sure they have the hydration they want. And that's it. These guys are on their way for a great start. And hopefully in about 8 weeks or so, we'll have some new homes for them. And I know I already have a couple of people who've inquired about them. So very excited to get them off to their new homes. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out anytime, and be more than happy to answer them for you. So thanks for tuning in. And all these cute little adorable munchkins say, see you next time. See ya.